How would you like to trade your tin boat for this?
A doll?
At least the head of one.
Deal! Oh, I'll hug him and kiss him and conquer the world with him.
Hard to starboard, little boat. Prepare to weigh anchor.
Ich wollte eigentlich das Mädchen erschrecken, aber so geht's auch.
Mr. McAllen.
Yes? How do you know my name?
It's a work assignment that brings you to the island. Am I right?
She began staring at me with intense, hypnotic eyes. Disguised within her tailored outfit and tortoiseshell spectacles, she had the crazed look of someone not entirely in touch with reality. That's right.
An auditing job.
Eyes that looked like she was reading my very thoughts. Yes?
And you're late. Days late.
I was beginning to panic. Ned had warned me about the supernatural on this island. Was this person standing in front of me equipped with psychic powers that could read my very thoughts? How do you know all this? Are you the witch doctor?
The witch doctor? No. It was written on this telegram that came in for you. It came through a few days ago now. Your boss isn't too happy by the looks of it. Bill Bolam, the taxi driver, telephoned and said I'd find you out here.
You're reading my telegrams?
I'm a newspaper reporter. It's one of the best ways to get a good story. Now, do you want it or not?
If you wouldn't mind.
McAllen, you're late reporting in. I don't remember authorizing the reopening of a cold case, but you better make sure it pays off, or you'll be swapping desks back to the mailroom. Sid Sinclair Auditing Company.
Do you want to send a reply?
What was there to say? My only contact was going to be pushing up daisies by morning, and my one lead was the magazine I'd been carrying with me since heading out. Before I checked in with my boss, I needed some progress to report badly. You know, for now I'll just leave it.
Suit yourself. Sounds like you're up to some fun on the island, Murphy. Be a sweetie and keep me updated so I have something to write about, won't you?
She didn't even wait for a reply before she started striding back through the bayou. She hadn't taken a single thing from me, and yet somehow, I still felt like I'd just been mugged. I packed the fish guts into the tin boat. It was the smelliest little ship to sail the 7 seas.
Jetzt lassen wir das fahren. Im Bayou.
Perhaps this would attract the gator's attention. The hulking mass of scales and muscles lumbered to the edge of the jetty and dangled its toothy jaws over the side, its nostrils flickering at each waft of fish guts. It was the kind of water that made you question every ripple. Was it the breeze or something hungry?
Sind wir jetzt dran vorbei?
I may have been new to the bayou, but even I knew that plunging my hand into alligator-infested waters wasn't a good idea.
Ich glaube, es ist abgelenkt, ne? Ah, warte mal, hier.
Ready? Aim.
Oder so. Ich dachte, wir schwingen rüber.
With a splash that would be the envy of any cannonballing kid at a pool party, the irritable reptile disappeared into the murky bayou. I just hoped it didn't hold a grudge. The taxidermied fish looked like it was barely hanging on to the rotting wooden frame. Deciding it would be better coming with me, I picked it up. And in doing so, tore a long hole in its previously stitched-up seam. The plaque read, "My beloved Bernie, heartfelt wishes, now you sleep with the fishes."
Dieses eine Geräusch, das klingt, als wäre es so ein Telefon-Dingens.
The writing on the paddle wheel said in fancy painted letters, "The Spirit Queen."
Da. Diese Dritt.
and specters from realms yet unknown, guide to me the wanderer who searches alone. Welcome, Murphy McCallan.
How do you know my name? Have you been reading my telegrams too?
I have no need for such trivial paperwork. I have eyes all over this island. Now it's time for me to see you for myself. Come, step into the light. I know a lot about you, Murphy. Unknown parents, a childhood spent in orphanages. I know things about you even you don't know.
How do you know all that?
My name is Dr. Moray. I am a conjurer, a shadow man, a controller of spirits that balance the line between life and death. And those spirits whisper to me. But for now, it's your time to talk, Murphy. Tell me why you've come to my humble abode.
I've been told you could help me.
That depends on what you seek.
I kept telling myself that the doctor's theatrics didn't convince me. That there must have been a logical reason why he knew what he did. But with how skittish the locals were, humoring him seemed like my only chance of learning more. I'm looking for the $13 million that went missing from the Bellemore accounts. I'm an auditor in the company I work for.
Murphy, do you take me for a fool? I know what your mind sees when your eyes are closed. Tell me, Murphy, what do you dream of?
Ach komm, das.
I dream about finding the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
I see that spirit within you, hungering for more than an auditor's life. And I know you've dreamed about that treasure every night since you first read the story. Tell me I'm not right.
It's like the treasure is calling out for me to find it.
Many have sought the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor. All have failed. Some, it is said, have perished in the process. Do you know what happened at Bellemore Manor all those years ago?
The ghost story? I've read it, but I don't know how much of it is really true.
All of it. Dark magic runs throughout Bellemore Manor. The house was built by the Bellemore brothers, 3 merchants from England, who made their fortune trading across the Caribbean. Xavier Bellemore, an explorer. Yardley Bellemore, an actor. And Cecil Bellemore, a scientist. Their parents dead for many years, they each loved and cared for their young sister, Abigail. Abigail met a young sailor who worked aboard her brother's ships, and in less than a year, he proposed. The engagement was a scandal. Despite having the pick of any eligible bachelor in high society, her hand and her share of the Bellemore fortune was to go to a commoner. Because of their unconditional love for their young sister, the Bellemore brothers sanctioned the union. But people began to wonder if Abigail was being locked into marriage, whether by blackmail or black magic. The 3 proud brothers planned a grand wedding, but in the months leading up to it, one by one, each of the brothers was lost, presumed dead. And yet the wedding was still to go ahead. And with Abigail set to inherit the entire Bellemore fortune once she came of age, people began to wonder whether the sailor was not a perpetrator, but a pawn. On the morning of the wedding, Abigail summoned the sailor to her chambers. "I don't love you," Abigail declared. "I never loved you." And before the guests gathered in the house, Abigail declared that she would marry another on that same evening. John Rackham, first officer of the Bellemore Trading Company, would be her new groom. Except that didn't happen. That night, everyone in the house suddenly and mysteriously vanished. Perhaps it was the last revenge of the scorned sailor. In the house that night was a heart that would be broken, a victim who would be tricked, and a force that would unleash evil. But no one knows exactly who each was. If you want to find the treasure, Murphy, you'll have to find out.
Sehr gute Sprecher.
You're telling me that all of that actually happened?
And so much more, Murphy. Mysteries you have yet to uncover.
Dr. Morey's performance was gripping, but it seemed like something out of the vaudeville shows I'd snuck into as a teenager. Grifters peddling magic spells, fortune-telling, and miracle elixirs. At least that's what I tried to tell myself. And the treasure, is that real too?
It is as real as you are, Murphy. And someone went to a lot of trouble hiding it.
Can you help me find it?
I can. If you can prove your dedication to the search, I will need you to retrieve something from inside the house. A small leather pouch called a gree-gree still lies inside Abigail Bellemore's bedroom. We will need it if I'm to help you. This will get you inside.
Okay.
You're not gonna pull a rabbit out of your hat for your next trick, are you?
I do not do tricks, Murphy McCallan. You'll soon learn this. The Bellemore estate lies at the end of the northeastern peninsula of Devil's Rock. Find that gree-gree and bring it back to me. I'll be here when you return. And Murphy, this ghost story? Now it's your story, too.
Okay. Na, da bin ich ja mal gespannt. Haben wir eine Karte? Oh, haben wir. Ich guck mal kurz, ob noch irgendwas... Wir sind immer noch im Prolog, ne?
The door was locked with a sign in the window saying, "Closed for private appointment. Reopening shortly." I could see two gentlemen inside. I'd seen some... Framed by trees and lit by moonlight, Bellemore Manor stood imposingly in the still night air. Even without any lights on, it felt like something inside the house was calling me. Or warning me. I considered wading into the pond, water up to my waist, squelching my way through the reeds and mud, past frogs, bugs, and water snakes. Then I realized I had absolutely no reason to do that.
Fehlt noch ein paar blumige Sprüche. Wir haben hier einen Pfad, wir haben hier...
From the outside, I couldn't spot any clues to the location of the Bellemore treasure.
Ist klar. Eingangstüren, okay. Kommt, glaube ich, nicht rein.
I needed the key to open it.
So, haben wir doch. Ich gehe erstmal da hinten rum.
Looking out over the tranquility of the gardens, its magnolias lit by moonlight, nothing could take my attention away from the macabre sight dangling from the oak tree. A hanged skeleton, its wedding suit little more than tattered rags clinging to bone, and its skull seemingly watching me with hollow, unblinking eyes. An eternal groom without a bride.
Da ist der Ring.
The skeleton hung high up in the tree, swaying with each slight breeze. Even from down on the ground, I felt disturbingly close to it. The stark trunk of the tree didn't offer any possibility of climbing it. The wheel was too heavy to move. The doors were firmly locked from the inside. The knot was tied so tightly I couldn't loosen it.
Okay, dann müssen wir ihn aufschneiden. Ja?
The handle turned, but the door was restrained by the taut rope tied to it. From its other end dangled a heavy barrel full of molasses.
Okay, weiter geht's. Ein Hufeisen.
The horseshoe was just out of my reach.
Das kriegen wir bestimmt hin. Der Fisch hier, warte
It
mal.
was the taxidermied fish I'd taken from the riverboat, with a ripped seam opening up to the stuffing inside.
Ah, okay, den müssen wir erstmal wieder reparieren. So, wir haben den Schlüssel.
With a deep breath, I placed the key into the lock of the house I'd been thinking about for weeks and turned it.
So, Entschuldigung.
Hello? I don't know if I expected a reply, but with only an echo in response, it seemed like nobody was home. I hope that was just the wind.
Ja, war's. Ich hab's genau gesehen.
An orb appeared seemingly from nowhere, glowing and shimmering with energy, simultaneously captivating and terrifying. It was like it had a presence, an aura that I couldn't explain. My first instinct was to look for smoke and mirrors, but this illusion was right before my very eyes, one that I could reach out and touch.
Okay. Da gehen wir jetzt nicht hin. Ich gehe zur Tür.
With neither of the doors appearing to open, I peered through the crack between them. I couldn't tell if I was imagining things, but it looked like shadows dancing. The door didn't have a visible lock, but as much as I tried, it wouldn't open. It was a painting of Abigail Bellemore, hauntingly beautiful. Without a flue, the fireplace seemed entirely decorative, and yet, standing in front of it, I could feel a breeze. It was a painting of a gazebo overlooking the sea. The two sea deities stared at me with disapproving eyes. I didn't know what I could have done to disappoint a statue.
So, da gehen wir gleich hin.
It was a family portrait of all four Bellemore siblings. The three brothers stood around their seated younger sister.
Okay.
Like the other door, this door had no keyhole, yet still seemed to be locked too.
Dann gehen wir hier durch. Ich glaube, ich soll dem Ding folgen. Huch.
The portrait exuded an unsettling aura. I didn't know who it was, but I didn't like the way he looked back at me.
Abgeschlossen.
I tried to open the trunk, but in the darkness I only managed to fumble unsuccessfully with the latch.
Also brauchen wir noch Licht.
The door was locked. The door was locked. The door was locked. There was nothing behind the curtains. This was strange. I didn't remember seeing any lights on when I was outside the house.
Ist ja auch die andere Seite. Licht.
The door was locked. I couldn't ring the bells from the hallway. The door was locked. I looked behind the curtains, but there was nothing there. Walking into the room, I realized it must have been Abigail's bedroom. I was in the right place. Somewhere in this room was the Grigri, and I needed to find it.
Da, ich habe was blitzen sehen gerade eben.
The sheets lay flat on the bed, undisturbed for more than 30 years. The Grigri wasn't going to be there. I took the poker from the hook.
Get out.
I hope that was my imagination. I tried to lift the ashpan grate, but decades without use had rusted it in place.
Okay, dann nehmen wir den Schürhaken.
I wedged the poker in the grate, and with all my might, pulled. I picked up the object that had been glinting in the fireplace and discovered it was a jeweled brooch.
Okay, zeig mal
It
her.
was an ornate brooch that had tarnished with age. What should have been a sparkling gem was now grimy and dull. The portraits hung tight to the wall and didn't reveal anything hidden behind them. The portraits hung... I couldn't see anything special about the phonograph's reflection.
Steht da überhaupt ein Fotograf?
There was nothing I could do with the tabletop. It was best to leave the vase where it was. The music box was locked with no visible keyhole, but a distinctive indent on the front looked like it might be the mechanism to open it, if I had the right key.
Okay, eine Aussparung haben wir da. Eine Aussparung. Ach, da ist es. Okay, zeig mal her.
The phonograph didn't have a record to play.
Abgeschlossen.
I tried to open the balcony doors, but they were locked securely. I wasn't getting through them. I couldn't leave now. Somewhere in the bedroom was the Grigri.
Ich dachte, das wäre das Grigri gewesen. Ach, die Brosche, warte mal. Wir können die Brosche an der Kommode benutzen. Ja, an der Kiste. Stimmt.
The brooch fitted snugly into the indentation in the music box. With a small click, the music box opened and revealed the contents it had held untouched for more than 30 years. The small leather bag was just as the witch doctor had described. It was hard to imagine what could be so important about it.
You should not be here.
Wait, I can explain.
You don't belong here.
I don't mean any harm.
Get out. Get out.
Wow.
With good fortune, the pond had broken my fall.
Ist aber
It was a strange juxtaposition, wiggling goldfish out of my underwear as I tried to process the fact that I'd just been the victim of an attempted murder by a ghost bride. The stories were true, so that meant the treasure might be real as well. And now I had the Grigri. It was time to return to the Spirit Queen.
Murphy, did you find it?
I saw her. I saw the bride. She tried to kill me.
I told you it was true. Now, do you have the Grigri?
Yes, I found it.
Good. Good. Now, do you believe what I've been telling you?
I'm starting to. Why did she try to kill me?
There are some spirits that, even in death, do not wish to give up what they amassed in life. The question is, Are you strong enough to persuade them?
I would be if they'd give me a chance to ask them.
Precisely. That will be our next step.
Doch war beim Sargnagel
A
Schwarz.
manuscript for a voodoo spell? A spell to help me find the treasure?
A spell to reveal those who know where it is. There are many things on this island that have gone unseen. Stories that have been left unheard, at least by mortals. But I commune with realms beyond. Let me introduce you to a friend. Out of the shadows, the cursed and the damned, return now, my servants, to do my command.
I have returned to you,
Okay.
Master.
Lower, this gentleman wishes to find the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor. Tell him how this can be done.
Only inhabitants of the house know where the treasure lies, their spirits still within its walls, trapped between life and death. To ask them, those spirits must be pulled back to the mortal realm.
And that is what our spell will do, Murphy. A summoning spell to unveil the ghost trapped within the house.
7 ingredients place inside, tie closed and then unseal. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
Once you've collected all 7, we can summon the ghosts of Bellemore Manor. Once we've summoned the ghosts, we can ask them exactly where the treasure was hidden. You have served me, Loa. Be gone. That, Murphy, is your goal. Find the 7 ingredients named in the voodoo manuscript, place them in the gree-gree, and return to the Spirit Queen. Are you up to the task?
I think so.
Excellent. Then there's just one thing left to do. The gree-gree that you carry is not yours. It was stolen from the spirits. And an artifact of voodoo will only work for its rightful owner. To be used, it cannot be stolen. It can only be bought or traded or inherited. Fortunately for you, the spirits and I are willing to make a trade for something symbolic of your spirit. The spirit that yearns to escape its humdrum life. If you want the gree-gree to be rightfully yours, what do you have to offer in exchange for it?
Ich hab nichts.
What about this?
A pocket watch. A symbol of the life that doesn't satisfy you. A symbol of lost time. Dare you give it up?
I think I can do without it.
Then cast it into the spirit pool. The spirits have deemed it a satisfactory trade. The gree-gree and its powers are now rightfully yours to wield. You are ready now, Murphy. Head out to the island and retrieve the ingredients we need. Then I will show you the final step of the spell.
How am I going to find what I need?
Everything I've ever needed for my voodoo spells, I've found here. It's as though this island draws the supernatural to it. The bayou, the beach, the town, the manor, all will help you in your search. Tell me, Murphy, have you visited the mill to the north, the fort to the south, the church at the island's heart? The island will lead you to that which you seek. I have no doubt about that.
Achso, okay, da kommen sie.
How are the ghosts trapped within Bellemore Manor?
The explosion is what sealed their fate. They exist now only as spirits, the form they should take in the spirit realm, and yet they remain here in the mortal realm. The ghosts are trapped in that house, unseen, unheard, and unable to interact with the world around them. This spell will change that.
How is the bride able to attack me when she's supposedly unseen and unheard?
Voodoo works best when attuned to emotion, and the strongest of those emotions can sometimes push beyond the known limits. She must have been very angry with you.
Bisschen.
If I summon the spirits of the house, won't I also summon the bride again?
Very true, Murphy. Best be a little more persuasive this time.
What was the explosion that caused everyone to disappear?
It was a tearing in the very threshold between life and death, a chain reaction of spirit energy suddenly unleashed by the most violent of emotions. Just as the bride's anger allowed her to manifest in front of you this very evening, think of the rage that must have caused an entire household to explode and vanish.
Who is the creature that you talked to?
That is my Loa, the Loa of the mysteries, the invisibles, the messengers.
Is it a ghost?
No, they are the intermediaries between humans and the supernatural. There are two planes of existence, Murphy, the mortal realm and the spirit realm. Loa can move between them both. With my powers, I can command them when they do.
How did you learn voodoo?
I have always been adept with the mystic arts. Just as you dream of treasure, Murphy, I dream of power. I came to Devil's Rock many years ago, drawn by its voodoo energy, and no sooner than I arrived, the spirit realm began to reveal itself to me, pleading for me to be its master.
Why is this island such a focus of voodoo energy?
I suspect the answer to that question already lies in what you're seeking.
What's this riverboat we're aboard?
This is the Spirit Queen. It used to be a pleasure boat, plying the rivers around the island, a den of drinking and gambling. That's how I came to own the boat. A lucky game of chance. But between you and me, Murphy, it's a lot easier to win when you have spirits to control the roll of the dice.
It sounds like you cheated.
Fate was always gonna bring this boat to me. I just hurried it along.
Do you keep an alligator as a pet?
That's right. My dear old Mephistopheles. Blind as a bat, but with the smell of a bloodhound. Good thing he's chained up safely in the boiler room.
No, he isn't. He was out on the jetty when I was trying to get aboard.
Where is he now?
Swimming in the bayou.
Oh dear, not again.
I'm going to go and find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
Teil 1. Der Beschwörungszauber. Okay, speichern. Tada. Ah, warte mal.
With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame. Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spiderwebs, and to top it, one thing lay undisturbed, a small folded document which I picked up, along with an inadvertent eight-legged companion. Ugh. Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
Lizenz ausgestellt vom Handels- und Arbeitsministerium 1910. Kapitänslizenz Cornelius Knott. von Ihnen heute ordnungsgemäß auf seine Qualifikation als Kapitän eines Dampfschiffes geprüft wurde. Eine geeignete und sichere Person ist und mit der Befugnis und Rechten bla 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 bla. Butterworth. C. Dot. Oh, warte mal, ich glaube, da müssen wir ein Foto von uns reinpacken. Das ist unser Nachweis.
There was nothing else of interest in the shack. Cluck, cluck. Buck, buck, buck. Cluck. I tried to persuade the chicken to come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck.
Cluck.
The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile?
Na, das ist die Gefahr.
Despite its obvious age, the water wheel was still turning. I couldn't get near it, and that was probably a good thing if I didn't want to get dragged under by the current. The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time, and yet the lights remained on.
I'm a boa.
I picked up the auger from the tool shelf. The beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside. From the multitude of wires fanning out from the top, it was presumably hooked up to a generator. The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storing lumber, and I wasn't in need of any 2x4s.
Oh.
I didn't want to touch it. I hadn't seen something with that many scary-looking teeth since Old Lady Malloy's German Shepherd got loose on my 10th birthday. The saw blades were rusted, dull, and would surely have precipitated the need for a tetanus shot.
Gehen wir mal oben gucken.
I tried the door, but it was locked.
Okay. Dann gehen wir erstmal hier.
The church door was locked.
Alles abgeschlossen.
The inside of the church was silent and still. I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good. I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for.
Okay, das kommt später.